Good morning, Dilana. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. I want to thank you for being on this morning.
Oh,
These
good
crazy
morning.
hours.
I'm super happy to be here on your show. Thanks.
Well, thank you. It's very special to have you on. I've been listening to you for a very long time, and Santa Claus on the roof. A little late,
Something like that.
right? So actually, you're actually in the Black Forest in Germany.
Yeah,
So we're in different time zones. It's pretty crazy here. It's early New England for me. So I
right.
really want to just go over a couple of your albums, some songwriting stuff. You have doing a super thing, the program with finding kids and helping with children. I want to touch on that. That's super important. And then kind of just talk about you got some new albums re-released and some EPs, and I want to end on that. Okay, but
Sure.
looking over your albums and knowing some of your albums, actually, I was looking on your site, and you have a really great website. And I know it's not pretty recent, but it's really up to date now. Finally, because I think a lot of your music's been out there, like in singles, and the accuracy of when things get posted on like on iTunes or whatever, the dates are never correct. It's hard to find the proper order. So it's nice to see it actually all together. What I
Thank you.
first noticed is you have an Dance with the Snake album. I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
That was on
It's
there.
one, it's one of those. I don't even own a copy of it. It's just a project or an album that I did. What my very first album when I got my very first record deal, also with a Dutch company and a Dutch label. And we had these amazing African rock songs. It was
Hmm.
with my African band still. And it was very raw, very organic style music. And then we got to Holland and it was in the time of Ace of
Hmm.
Base.
Yep.
They wanted our music to sound like Ace of Base. So they took
Mm.
out all the live instruments, forced me to sing a specific way, which I really couldn't connect with. And I was really in tears. I was young, was 21, and I was just very unhappy. So I really don't like the sound of it, the production, the way they changed the song. So yeah, I don't have a copy. I don't really talk about
Okay.
that.
I was on your website and I was surprised. And being a fan, I
Yes,
had never heard of that. I knew from
yes.
Wonderful on, and that actually kind of holds true with Wonderful. It feels like when you first came out with that, and I wonder if it's more just the times you're more of a not, like it was like I felt you were being molded to more of like the pop music, the pop princess, and your evolution. You've kind
Oh,
of become more of
definitely.
a rock and roll warrior on your own, where you've kind of come
That's
yourself. You know what I mean? Like you were part of the times, like we all were in our 20s and the record labels and everything going on. But as you've kind of held on to your career and your music, you've really just taken it by the, you know,
but balls.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And
you know,
it's been a
I
great transition. You've really owned your voice and your music to a point where it's like it's you. You know, it's
Thank you. I love what you said because it really is true. They say the older the grape, the sweeter the wine, and I think that really applies to me. Um, it did take me a while to really discover my own voice because I spent lots of years covering artists, and I got the label of Janis Joplin and Melissa Etheridge and Stevie Nicks and Tina. Everyone had a name for me. Oh, that's the girl that sounds like this and that, and I really wanted to get away from that and have my own identity. So it took me a while, but I now, when I listen to my own
mhm.
voice and my newer songs, I'm super happy. I'm proud that I can say that's my voice and I'm not trying to be somebody else. It's very difficult to do that. But I
It's
really
incredible.
think that
Yeah.
I think that the more you grow spiritually, mentally, physically, the more you experience life, the easier it becomes to just let go of what you think people want and people need and focus more on yourself and
Mhm.
what you want and just to be more authentic and real.
I I think one of the great things with this and the tie-in, you're a mom, and for quite a while now, and you look like you're an awesome mom. I think
Oh, thank
part of your
you.
part of your change, your child's so cute. Part of your change, and I know becoming a parent, it, and not for everybody. For me, it made me a better person on a way that I stopped looking at in, and I started looking at the world differently. And I
Absolutely.
feel like the level of how you've changed since you become a mom has
Yeah.
been like just like before you're like walking down the hall, you're who you were when you start becoming you,
Right.
and then you were like a mom, and then like within that first year, you're like kicking doors down like in a way where it's just like you're
Yes.
like mama bear, and it feels like it's been such a growth as an artist because I think you have such a great influences, and the problem is a good problem. Your voice is so good; you can cover so many different artists. You have such a range, you know, which is fantastic. So I mean, a label will be like, oh, she can sing anything, this is cash
Yeah.
cow. But your voice is a range that you can sing in a register that like a lot of women don't sing in, which
Yes.
is I
The
love
quiet
that. I love that.
without.
And the fact is, you've sung with one of the best artists I think you've done some stuff with acoustically is some of the John Krabi sets you're doing, because he's another
Oh
one with a
yeah.
great voice.
Oh yes,
When artists
definitely.
can sit down with their voice and acoustic guitar and carry the emotion of a song, that's like back to the beginning with the Beatles. If you can do a good acoustic
Absolutely.
guitar and a song and do it, and like it's like John Corabi on that level when you guys were doing that was the male version of, and I mean, and you were just so strong. That was like one of the best collaborations I saw you guys doing that in the club. I was like,
Oh,
how is this not huge? How are they not playing everywhere with this? I mean,
yeah, I've tried to. John and I, we still stay in touch all the time. We actually dated for a little while, and we're super good friends. And I've asked him many times because he often comes through Europe, and
mhm.
told him like, come on, man. I get messages from people saying, oh, when are you and John gonna play together again? And I'll ask him, and he's like, yeah, we got to do that. And but it just never happens. He was
You got to do
here
an
in
album
Holland.
together. Oh,
Yes, that would be fantastic. And I
even if you
agree
did
with
it,
you. I think when an artist can sit down with an acoustic guitar and really just bring it down to the bare minimum, to the roots, the rawness of a song, and make people feel emotion, make people cry, make people feel whatever, that's when it's real, and that's when an artist is a good artist. I love to listen to artists acoustically stripped down
mhm.
because that's when I can really tell how good they are
Yeah,
or how good they're not. And
yeah.
it's
No,
not
I,
like
I
I'm,
agree.
I'm judging or criticizing, but I like to leave a concert feeling goosebumps from head to toe, the hair raising on my neck,
Mhm.
filled with emotion and filled with inspiration. If I don't get goosebumps in a show, I'm very disappointed. And it's happened a few times with big names, and I was like, no, this in a way you just wish it
Yeah.
never happened.
It's
So,
it's hard, and then the way the technology is, they cover them up. They don't play live
ah,
anymore. You would be a great
yeah.
acoustic album there yourself, whether it be a mixture down the road. That would be
Been
kind of a neat
trying to
thing.
do that for years. Me and my guitarist and I, we've been working on it literally for like 3 years now. I've paid for all the musicians to play all their parts. I've got an amazing cellist on there, and it's it's moving very slow. And I think it's something inside me that's blocking me every time I want to go there. It's because it's mostly covers, and because everyone's always asking, when are you going to do your versions of covers? And so I thought I'll do covers acoustically. Then I kill two
Yeah.
birds with one stone. But I think it's because it's a
Uh,
cover thing that it blocks me all the time.
my opinion, I love your originals, and maybe throw a couple covers on there. I think
Yeah.
you should, and I say start doing your
Thanks.
originals, kicking back from, well, my favorite, Beautiful Monster is a great starting point for you, where you just really just owned the planet as far as
That's
songwriting.
fine.
'Cause
That's
I
my
I
favorite
think
album.
I think you fused. I mean, your other Inside Out was good. I mean, your other good stuff too, and even your popular stuff was fun. But that
Yeah.
album reached the songs. It's to me, it's like, oh, this she already came up with her Sergeant Pepper's album already. I mean, to me, it's
Wow.
huge in a way where emotionally, that's like certain albums you can play a lot. I know you have other good albums, but like to me, that is like the
Thank
emotion is
you.
so good in that, and the
Yeah.
vocals, and the songs, and just the lyrics. I mean, Falling Apart is probably one of the best songs. I don't know
Oh,
how it's not out there. I'm glad you put it back on the other album. We'll talk about that after. I'm glad it's back out.
yeah.
More people should
Thank,
hear it. Um,
thank you.
but the emotion, it was like it shows in all of your songwriting. It shows your influences earlier on. That album, it's not just one genre. I don't even. I think maybe that's part of the thing is you can't really put it. It's not a pop thing. It's not going to be up between Beyonce and this and that. It's not going to be Celine Dion. I mean, it's like a soulful
Yeah,
album,
it definitely
and
was.
and the market's not like that right now, or hasn't been
No,
forever. And the
no.
brilliance of that has been lost, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I wish it would. I pray that real music would come back. I don't listen to the radio anymore. I'm so sick and tired of listening to
I
the
don't either.
same
I don't either.
overproduced, auto-tuned bull crap all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm trying to teach my 7-year-old daughter to appreciate real music. And um, it's annoying when you turn on the radio and all you hear is this boom, boom, boom nonsense, and all the same tone, the nasal thing these girls are
Hmm.
doing, young girls. I just don't. Oh, it just frustrates me because there's so much more to music and all the copycatting stuff. But I think I think there is still a big niche for rock music and soul music and real music. It's just, I think it's a phase now in the world, and I don't think rock and roll will ever really die.
No.
It's just a little buried at the moment.
There's just a few albums out there, and that one in your music is in particular where it's always like I probably touch on a lot of albums that I think of people that have really should have had bigger, props for certain for their careers, what they're doing as an artist. It's
Yeah,
just compared to what's out there. Um,
I
so
agree. I agree.
yeah, Angel Camouflage, and you did some acting.
Yes,
How'd that come
I love.
about? It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun.
Well,
How?
when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an actress. That was my
Mhm.
dream. So I went. My high school was a ballet, art, music, and drama school, and you could major in one of those subjects. So I picked drama because I thought, okay, this is my start to my acting career.
Mhm.
But long story short, I had a very
Yeah.
rough childhood, and I finally just ran away when I was 15. It was either me or my mom who were gonna get really hurt, and so I just escaped the madness, literally, physically, and I immediately started singing with this older guy who had a one man show, a solo artist, singer songwriter, and he was a friend of my mom, so he asked me to join him, and for me that was anything was better than being at home. So I
Right.
grabbed that opportunity. Ended up singing most of the nights alone. He would sit at the bar and get totally trashed, take all the money, yeah, just buy me my necessities every week. Didn't give me any cash.
It's like a
And
music
so,
pimp. That's awful.
yeah, he really was. He's passed away now, unfortunately. But it took me 3 months to realize that was not a good deal. So I went back to Johannesburg in South Africa and just started auditioning for all kinds of bands. And then I got a call from my South African band who I had some success with called Wozani. And before I knew it, I was 21 recording an album. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to the acting dream? So the acting very quickly got buried in the back part of my mind. And then with Rockstar Supernova, as soon as it
Yes.
finished, my manager got a call from the director of Angel Camouflaged. And he said, I saw her, and when I saw her doing the Nirvana song, I knew that she had to be the lead actress in the movie. And when I got the news, I was like stunned that I was gonna finally be in an acting job. But I was so into the music at that point that when I met with the
Mhm.
director, I was like, yeah, yeah, sure, I'll act in your movie, but I'll do it if you use my songs for the soundtrack. I was more interested in just getting my songs on the movie.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, sure, I love your music. Let's hear it. And when the deal came around where he said, I like this song, and I had to write some extra songs for some scenes. And then came the acting thing, and I was like, oh my God, I have to act. Like I forgot all about the acting part, and I was freaking out actually. And yes, it was a lot of fun. And when I look back at it, there's a part of me that's quite proud of it because I've never had
Should
any
be.
coaching training. But there's a part of me that also thinks like, wow, if I had to do that over now, I would be so much better. I feel like when I watch it, I was trying too hard,
You can say
and
about
I should.
everything though about you right now. You look.
That's
You know
true,
what I
isn't
mean?
it?
Look how you've changed. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
look back who you are, you can't regret anything you've done. Not regret it, but you can't be like, you did that. That's you doing that is part of who you are now and part of what I
yeah.
mean and how you are. I mean, it's
You're
fun to do
right. You're
stuff like that. It's
absolutely right.
you
No
you owned it.
regrets, right? We
No,
shouldn't have regrets.
no.
I'm Yeah, that's true. And I often think like when I'm gone one day, it'll be so awesome for my daughter to be able to listen to my songs and
Hmm.
see me in a movie, and hopefully I'll do another movie. That would be great. I won two
I
best
would think you should.
awards, which blew my mind. Yeah, I think I would be really great in a serious drama. That's really my strength. Other people might say, no, no, you're a comedian, you should be in a comedy. If you know me, you'll be like, oh my God, you're
Yeah.
such a comedian. But I would love to do more acting. But right now my focus is on my daughter. She wants to get acting, so I'm busy working on that at the moment.
That's the best
She's
project
number
you've ever
one.
had. Your kids.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Because your
Best.
kids probably got to be like around, I don't know, how old, 11? No, 10?
Oh,
I can't even
she's
get
7. She's 7.
7. I think she's
Yeah,
older. Oh,
it feels like it, huh?
you have
Yeah.
probably good another 5 years before she starts being like, oh, I got to talk to my friends now. I haven't got time for you, mom.
Don't say that. Shut up.
Listen, three kids,
I
three
wouldn't do it.
kids. I had three best friends until they started getting that age. And then they're
Oh,
like, I'll talk to you later. You're like, well,
oh,
come on, I'll do anything with
I
you.
can't. I can't. I
I'm
can't
saying
listen to
this because I
that.
want you to start to prepare yourself. Give yourself some
I'm
space every day. You're like, I need 10 minutes away from you. I need to start preparing for you not to be one around me as a young kid. Not in a bad way. It's just because
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
you're like, are you kidding me? You're my best
We
friend. Would
talk
you ever?
about it all the time. It's like we're
Yeah,
addicted to each other.
it is.
We
And it was
sleep
like,
next to each other since birth
yeah,
every single night. It's just her and I.
yeah,
She sleeps next
yeah.
to me. She doesn't even have a bed. She has a bed, but it has no mattress and it's turned into a play bed because it's a double decker thing,
Yeah.
you know? And so, and it's just her and I. And we're like, oh my gosh. And I tell her every night in bed, I'm like, one of these days, you're not going to want to hug mama anymore and talk to mama.
Yep.
And she goes, Mom, don't be crazy. I'll never do that. So I'm going to record her one of these days.
You got it. I'm telling you, because it's like before I was hugging and everything, and now it's like, I'm like, do I get a hug? You're like, I'm not into that, Dad. Bye. Love you. You're like, is it
No.
cats in the cradle every day in my house? But I've been here with you. Are you kidding me? Yeah, they're
Oh,
but yeah, I
sweet.
love them, and they do music and
Yeah,
stuff. So there's some good times.
that's cool.
It's good. I think yeah, you're a good mom, and I think
Thank
the
you.
image that you're portraying now, the fact you've owned who you are now in your music, clearly is going to reflect upon the parent you're going to be, and that you are. But the kind of parent,
Absolutely.
your parent, I'm sorry, I meant to say the parenting, how it's going to carry on and be to your child as your child takes these impressions now that last forever, because these are the years that just sticks with you, informs who you are. So
Absolutely.
I think
Yes.
having a strong mom standing up and doing things and having her own career is huge.
Yes.
It's
I
huge.
really
So
think, when Kamala Harris just became the vice president, I,
how
I was
awesome.
I was watching that inauguration. I had tears coming out of
Yeah.
my eyes, and River, my daughter, was sitting next to me. And she said, "Mom, are you crying?" And I said, "River, do you understand what this means for you?" And I explained it to her that, just like Kamala said in her amazing
Yeah.
speech, that this is a door opening for every young girl on the
Hmm.
planet, that you can be who you want and achieve what you want if you just fight for it, believe in it. And I could really see in River's face that she got it. And then she looked at the TV and she was like, and I think to have a mom that's also a role model, and someone that you not worship, but just someone that you really
You look
have
into.
respect. And I
Yeah.
think that makes such a huge difference, to be the best mom that you can and to teach your child that life is about going and getting it. It's not going to come to you, and about goodness and being good to others, and karma. I'm a big believer in karma. What you give, you get. And I mean, my mom, I know she did the best that she could for me. She was a horrible mom, and I'm very lucky that I survived that. But I was mad at her for most of my life, until I realized, after I had a child, that she literally did the best that she could. And I now embrace that. And she's passed away and I can't tell her, but I wish I could tell her, I'm thankful for the years that you gave me, even all your bad things, all the
Mm.
mistakes you made. I learned from them. They made me super powerful, super strong. And being a mom, I know exactly the signs now. I know what to look out for, what not to do, what to do. There's so many things my mom could have taught me that she didn't, for all kinds of things, important things in life, which I had to find out all by myself. Even when I had my own daughter, I didn't know what to do with certain things because my mom never taught me anything. So it's important to be a good mother and a good father, a good
It
role
is.
model for our children.
It's
And
very much.
so yeah, it's number one to me. I'm telling you, the biggest record deal can come right now and say, we want to sign you, but it means
Mhm.
that you'll have to be away from home for a year without your daughter because we want just you. I would say, screw you, pal. I'm not doing it.
Well, I
No,
agree with you. I think that and more recently you did Dilana album, which was some more camouflage songs like mixed together. Then you did a live album. You have two pieces that just came out, a re-release in Animal, but to lead into Animal, you've been doing some other things, the projects with the child abuse trafficking.
oh, yes.
That's a perfect. Let's talk about that. This is a perfect lead into that. From there into this into those.
Okay. So I've been, yeah, for years now, I've been involved with human trafficking, child sexual abuse. And I actually started all of this when I was living in Los Angeles. I would go to these shelters for women and children battered victims of domestic violence. So that's how I started. And then when I moved over to Holland, I always talked about it at my shows. A lot of my songs are about it, and I just talk about it very openly.
Hmm.
And I got asked by a foundation in Holland to be their ambassador. It's called Fight Against Abuse, and it's it's a sometimes it's a freaky responsibility when there's some material that I need to read that's super
Mm.
sensitive. It affects me deeply. I have sleepless nights about it, but I think being a victim or being a warrior and a survivor myself has really given me a powerful weapon to be able to speak about it very openly, and to help people, and especially young people. And don't be mistaken, there are a lot of male young children who are in these abused groups. And my goal really is to target the male victims, because I think they feel more embarrassed than girls to
Yeah.
speak up about sexual abuse. So with my foundation that I've teamed up with, we often visit universities and colleges, and we talk to the students about
Hmm.
this. And the guy that's the founder, when he speaks, he tells his story. He also has a crazy story about his little girl being abused, and that's what made him start the foundation. But he's more diplomatic, and sticks to the script. And when I go up, I improvise. I just ad lib. I go for it. I just speak my heart. And
But do you ever follow the script in any part of your life, though?
no, hell no.
maybe that movie you did a long time ago, that script you have. But besides
Oh,
that,
that,
right?
yeah. Ooh, I did change a few things, but they
Right,
liked
so
it.
there you go. There you go. So as long as you stay in
But
character,
yeah, and as long as you're honest about this,
that's the best part.
I really feel that young people can tell the difference between someone who's
Hmm.
experienced it and people who have not, because they always come to me after the lecture, and they come and ask for a hug, or they cry and they say,
Hmm.
wow, I've never spoken about my issues, thank you for letting me open up. And so we've been working for a while on banning this manual for pedophiles that's legal in Holland.
What?
Drives me insane. It's completely legal, and it's disgusting. I can't go into detail, of course, but I had to
No,
read certain chapters of this manual, and I was horrified.
I'm so
And
surprised. I mean,
it's just beside me.
legal on top of it. I mean, I know there's gross stuff out there, but I can't even imagine it's
No one can understand it. But
because you don't
finally,
know.
last year we got it. We got the what do you call it? The cabinet in Holland to finally say, okay, we're going to put a ban on this book. So now we've achieved that, and I'm super happy and proud of the
Well,
foundation. But the problem is it's
congratulations.
out in the
Thank you.
dark web too. So, with the internet, there's nothing you can do. So the fight never ever ends, but it's good for the youth to know that there are people they can come to for help, people they can talk to. Just communicating about it is already a huge help.
Hmm.
So,
It's great.
I can't change it, I can't take it away, but I can help people feel better and feel love and get help.
That is the best. We're gonna put as I said, links, but so people know listening, all the links to all the stuff she's talking about is gonna be right underneath this channel. So go to it if you want to, please support it.
Thanks,
If you have,
John.
issues, it's just very important. This is most important part of our talk today. Well, besides me saying hi to you.
Ah, thank you.
um,
It is very important.
it's seriously when I saw you were doing this, it's just paramount to everything I wanted to talk to you about. It was the most important point of
Thank
conversation.
you.
And then I
Yeah.
saw you actually did a video kind of
Yes,
for
yes, I made a
I like
video.
that.
Thank you.
How'd that come about? The concept for that one, that's pretty cool. It's actually fun.
I came up with the whole concept myself, in one night in my bed, in my half awake, half asleep state of mind.
Hmm.
And that's how I write songs most of the time too. But the I was with another foundation at that point, and I had a much more intense video,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh my God, you can't do this! You got no, you can't
Yeah.
do that!" And I was like, "Come on!" Because I was actually beating up the abuser myself in the original video that I had, the the original script, and they were like, "No, that's just too much. You can't do that." So this is the soft version
Such
of
a
what
version.
I've been. Yeah, but so what I wanted to achieve with the clip was to say, I don't condone violence, of course I don't, but basically I wanted to say I've got your back to
Mhm.
the victims. I'll protect, I want to protect you, I want to help you. I want to help you get the bad guys and let them feel the way they make us feel. And because I think that's something that a lot of people who have never been abused, and God bless you, thank God you're okay. But people who haven't been abused, they just don't understand how deep it is, how deep it goes. And for me as a victim, when I was really a victim back in the day, I just remember always thinking, I wish I could make them feel how they make me feel.
Mhm.
And so as an adult, and especially now as being a mom, I'm even much more mama bear, a mama lioness. I'll rip their heads off. I'm a lot more intense about it. I know I'm safe, but I'm going to make sure my daughter's safe and all those others out there. So the video was just, yeah, three of us. I made the script. I basically
I
directed
like
it.
it. Yeah, let me
Thank you.
just think. I thought first thing I thought was first off, it's a killer. It's a good song, but it's got all the parts. You could have a good song and have a crappy video. The concept, it could still be
Yeah,
a good idea, but it could be poorly conceived. Paper to script and to film, or just
absolutely.
could be a nightmare. But you kept it kind of like a regular video, kind of a live feeling, but you had a story concept to it. But it also carried the point where it felt like it was a very much an empowering thing. That like it was,
Yes,
an
absolutely.
empowering thing for the victims
For the
to think
victim.
that you are not, you're not alone. There's other help. It's not you.
Right.
It just felt like on so many different levels, and I can't even relate personally. I'm not going to try to speak you for that, but just watching from the outside, and then the awareness for somebody or other people that haven't seen it go, oh, and then you've got the information.
Yes.
It's like chock
Yeah.
full of all kinds of things in there. It's got some song, got some education.
Yeah.
You kind of get everything on
A
it.
little bit of suspense. What's going to happen to the guy in the
Yeah.
trunk?
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
know that's happening. Yeah. I think that there's no surprises there. I
Right.
don't know. Maybe, and a spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to end good for him. It was,
No.
but it's good. And so that's actually your animal EP is it's really good too. It's got like a different
Thank you.
twist to it for you. It's still
Animal
showing.
is, for me, in my opinion, when I listen to Animal, which I don't, but when I hear it, I go, this is the album that took me spiritually as an adult woman to the next level. Where if you listen to all my other music, it's very personal. It's about me, my experiences, my life. Animal is me looking out at the world and seeing what's going on around me with social media and
Mhm.
with animals and abuse and
I
animal
get
abuse.
that.
And so I just think like, wow, how did I start writing about world things and not about myself anymore? So I
Uh,
love that. I
yeah,
love it.
well, being a parent and doing what you do with the
Right.
foundation, but a lot of your songs are just fun rock songs, and touch into different parts of your life. Beautiful Monster, I think, was the beginning part of that too. You really touched
Absolutely.
a lot of other stuff. I think to me that feels like you had a bunch of fun songs. You Beautiful Monster, which touched on a really deep part, like in the heart,
Yeah,
like a heart rock and roll album.
it
And then and
is.
then and then fun and just some other stuff, and then kind of picking up on the next part of that level, connecting the bridge to that would be Animal, I think. And it's kind of fun
Yeah.
that you did Inside is kind of remastered now because that's kind of your fun album. So you kind of have two
Yeah.
different pieces out at the same time. You got
Yeah.
introspective, but then you got some rock and roll and kind of just chill back a little bit. And it's kind of neat that they both
Right.
came out at the same time. I like
Well, they
that.
didn't really come out at the same time. It
Well,
happened because of Corona.
yeah,
You know what
well,
I mean? Because we were actually going to do a much bigger release for Animal, and we had a whole plan for it. And then we delayed it and delayed it. And it finally came out because we thought, okay, Corona is going to end 3 months, 4 months.
yeah, right.
And then it came out, and we already had the Inside Out re release plan. So we couldn't stop that one. So yeah, it's great that they're out at the same time, but I
I
had a
get
whole
that.
different plan in mind, you know. But you're very right about Beautiful Monster, though. It was the first album that I did
You
with
own that one.
my own
You,
label. I got the producer I wanted, and it was just the two of us alone for a month.
mhm.
He's not a rock guy; he's a punk. Uh, I mean, he's the guy who found Nirvana and Audio Slave and all those
Mhm.
guys. Um, he he and I just clicked, and I had the power for the first time to creatively direct the producer and say, no, this is the take. Instead of the producer telling me,
Yeah.
no, drink some more whiskey. Yeah, I want your voice to be more. And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, with Jack, it was like, he would say, that was a great take. And I would go, it was, but I can do it better. I want to try something. And he was completely cool. Like, okay, let's hear it. Or we would both go, oh, that was it,
Yeah.
after one take.
The recording, it
Like,
sounds good too. It sounds like it's like it's like you're in the room. It just feels warm. It feels
very
like a
organic.
vinyl record. It feels very
Yes.
like the records in the '70s where you could really own it. Like it just
Wow, you say it well.
it just that's how I listen to music. So
Yeah, and
that's
you're
what I like it
absolutely
about it.
spot on. I didn't
You
want
know.
any, the Inside Out album is amazing. Dave Bassett,
Yeah.
a phenomenal producer, but
Hmm.
we really produced that record. We had all kinds of
Yeah.
tricks on there. But with beautiful Monster, I told Jack when we met for the very first time, I flew over to Seattle to chat with him, and he asked me, what is the most important thing for you about this album? And I said, well, I'm doing it with crowdfunding. It's
Hmm.
called My Music, My Way. And for me, it's important that you let me have my way. I'm going to listen to you as a producer and I'll take
Yep.
your advice, but I know what I want. And he was like, I'm totally cool with that.
It's great.
And it really is. And I told him, I don't want any over the top production. I want it to be as organic and raw as
Hmm.
possible. And that's exactly what we did.
And I love the
There
fact
was
that
nothing
you
fancy
yeah.
there.
No, and I love the fact you've come back and the animal again. It's got the same feel. It's kind of
Overproduced, big, epic sounds.
it's I like the fact you're going back and forth. I like the fact that each album's a different feel. It's not gonna be
Yeah,
like, oh, I know what the next Dilana album's gonna be like. I'll get it when it comes out because I know it's like I have no idea
right.
what the album's gonna be, and that's exciting. That's the way music should be, and that's the way it
Yeah.
used to.
Have you
It's
heard the
fantastic.
Vanishing Signs album?
No.
Vanishing Signs is a project that I sing with. It's an Italian Swiss band,
Oh.
and they found me on YouTube and flew me over, and I did these super intense rock songs, and it came out beginning of last year, 2020, I think. And if you hear that, you'll be like, I guess you could compare it a little more to the LA Guns
Hmm.
style and sound that I have, but a lot more perfect. The guy who writes all the songs, he's an amazing Hammond
Yeah.
player. He's
Oh,
very
nice.
over the top. It has to be perfect. And I had 4 days in Italy, and I had to sing. No, I had 3 days in Italy, and I had to sing 8 songs, I believe. It was very intense, the most intense work I've ever done.
How are
He
you gonna
wanted
sing
every
8 rock songs and eat all that pasta while you're there? That's impossible.
and you're right, I ate my
You're in
ass
Italy.
off. But then if you hear these songs, Sean, they are super high, full voice, power rock songs. And then you hear me doing an acoustic living room concert, and it's like,
Mhm.
so that's what I want to do. That next album, I want to
I'm
really
gonna
do
check it
that
out.
acoustic, that
I think it'd be
acoustic. Yeah,
great,
pick it up.
and um, I think a lot of it should be your stuff. You know, you
Thank
do a lot
you.
of good
I think
covers,
I
and
agree
and
with
and
you.
you've done good, and I liked you. I liked your voice, and you sang it like in LA Guns too. I think your voice
Yeah,
transcends and it does really well.
I
I
loved
like your
singing those
solo. I mean,
songs.
it's good. LA Guns has its own sound, and they've continued on doing well, and I'm glad you've continued on doing your own stuff because it's breaking off. It's been
Yeah,
two good pieces have gone from that. Um,
yeah.
the other thing oh, the other thing I asked, how did you get involved with Mick Mars? How did he do on your album? No one ever sees him.
Oh, Mick Mars. Oh, he's such a darling. I miss him so much. We lost contact. I don't know why. It's not like we had a fight or anything. He
No,
just
no,
kind
just
of,
you were on the album, and I don't know how. Like that's such a small little nugget, and he's
yeah. Well, we
very rarely on
became
any
friends.
albums. You know.
We became friends, and via my old manager, my previous manager, hooked us up for a songwriting session, and we literally hit it off immediately when I said, when he compared a song to, he's like, we were writing something, and he said, yeah, it's like that Motley Crue song, da, 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 da. And I said, sorry, no offense, but I don't like Motley Crue. And I didn't know that he was in Motley Crue. And I said, and I'm really sorry, but I've never heard of you. my manager just said you're like this amazing guitarist.
Hmm.
And then he didn't say anything, and then he brought up the Motley Crue thing later on, and then I said, yeah, I'm not really a Motley Crue fan. And then he burst out laughing and he said, I knew I would love you. I knew there was a reason I would like you, because I don't like them either. And then he started telling me all the stories, and we just hit it off.
Yeah,
And we actually got this tattoo together. This one
oh
here.
wow, yeah.
He has it on his hand. We went and got it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the voodoo symbol for Mars. And so we both got it. And we tried so many times to write something together. I'd drive up to his house in
Hmm.
Malibu, and we would end up just sitting in the kitchen on the counter. He would be
Laughing.
eating M&Ms, and we would just be laughing our asses off and talking shit for hours and not writing anything. And then came my album, and then I said, hey Mick, do you want to play a solo on one of my albums? And he's like, sure. So I went over there to his place, and he just picked up his guitar and started jamming all kinds of stuff. Gave me
He's
back
fantastic, and that is great.
Oh,
It's very telling that he did it for you, and he really does it for anybody. And he's such a talented
right.
musician, and he's so underrated in his song. I don't know.
Oh,
I can talk
he
for days
is.
about Mick Mars, and he is just I don't know. I think it's gonna take 30 years after he's gone before the world realizes how
That's a
beyond
shame. I
beyond the
agree.
legacy of like, oh, it's Motley Crue. There's Motley Crue in the song itself, but it's not about that. Like, take him outside of the songs of Motley Crue, just as an artist.
Yeah,
He is.
totally.
There's a separate person
He's a
there.
master.
Yeah, and I don't think
Yeah,
that's fully owned like that. I think it's, oh, he's part of Motley Crue and the stuff with it.
exactly.
No, just take him out of that as a guitarist. And I think I'm
Yeah.
glad you guys play together, 'cause that's fantastic.
Yeah,
And Krabi,
thanks.
so two
Me
guys
too.
from Motley Crue. I mean, two
And
really pop.
Krabi, yeah, that's true. That was
For somebody who doesn't know
ironic.
Motley Crue, I mean, you're just collecting like trading cards there and all your albums.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that's
funny.
true. Yeah,
Um,
it is.
well, this has been awesome. I would say, last question: have you ever done? I know you do a lot of cover songs. I haven't been able to hear you. Have you ever done Patsy Cline's "Crazy"?
I can't believe you just asked me that. No, but I love that, and I've been
I
saying
have
I've been
always
saying
wanted
for
you to do that.
years I want to cover "Crazy" by Patsy Cline.
I
How
have.
funny.
When the first time I heard those cover songs, I'm like, I like when you cover songs. And I'm like, man, if there's any person that could do that song and do it justice right now,
Wow.
you. And I've thought that for like, I don't know, since you were in like Rockstar Supernova. Like, I always thought, man, if there's one song, I was always hoping you'd come out with that one song, would be crazy. If
Wow,
you did
thanks.
no other cover songs and it's original, that's fine. Just to do
And then
crazy
one
with an
crazy.
acoustic guitar, that would be the best ever. I'm just gonna
Well,
be selfish
I'm
about it.
actually in South Germany, as you said, right now for a week with a trio that I play with.
Hmm.
It's a husband and wife team, and the three of us met in this Corona times, and so we're kind of a Corona band, we call ourselves. But they're classically trained musicians, and they teach music, and it's a really weird combo. She plays all kinds of recorders, like from the huge bass recorders
Yeah.
to the tiny little penny whistle kind of recorders, and he plays classical guitar. And so they play a lot of klezmer music, and I'm a rock singer, so we got together, and now we have this klez rock trio, and we do the craziest things. We take all kinds of songs and we change them up into these bizarro, just fun things. And so I told him last night, I said we should get some songs from the classics from the 40s, 50s, 60s,
Hmm.
So I'm going to throw crazy in there. Good
Yeah,
idea.
I think it's a great idea. There's some great songs from back then too. I think
Yeah,
you could really do it justice. And especially, obviously, I know if they're great musicians because you don't play with anybody who's not good at this point. It's so
right,
it's
right.
it'd be fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I think it's fantastic.
Thanks, Sean. I'll definitely
I
dedicate it to you.
well, that would
Definitely.
touch me very much. I thank you. I want to thank you for being on the show and giving time.
Oh, you're
It's been pretty
welcome.
awesome. It's very awesome. I
Thank
hope
you
people
so
can see
much.
you. We'll put all the links of everything underneath here. Okay. I want to thank you for
Yeah.
being on the show. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. It was my
Okay.
pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
All right. Ciao.